Greetings and salutations, Charlton66 here again with another video. I hope everyone is well. Just finished answering some comments that were left on my last video. Really enjoyed reading those. Pretty engaging, and that's what I like. You know, it's one of those things, you make a video and everything else, everyone likes it and stuff, but, you know, to talk to other fans and other collectors about what's going on in the industry and what's going on with their collections, it's fun. It gives me insight on who's watching my videos, you know, and the books and stuff that they like and that they enjoy. So I really, really like that. So please, if you like the video, of course, give it a thumbs up. But if you want to leave comments, please leave comments about anything you want to leave comments about. I think it's great. Like I said, I do a live stream with Graphic Man, Micah. Please subscribe to him and the rest of the 4-color fossils. That's what we call ourselves. We did a video last Wednesday, and I'm organizing my collection, like I had said, putting everything in smaller, manageable magazine boxes where everything fits well in those boxes. So I'm able to get to things that I haven't gotten to in a long time, or talked about, or showed on the video. If I did show them in the video, it was very, very long time ago. One of my earlier videos, possibly. But it's some of my magazines, some of my black and white horror, fantasy, sci-fi magazines. So I'm going to show some of those. I think that'd be interesting enough and capture everyone's attention, hopefully, and give you an idea on what's out there other than just the 4-color comic book. If people have not seen these before, which I think most of my audience knows of these or have them in their collection. So without further ado, we're going to go and take care of that. Beforehand, though, further ado, I'm going to change really quick here. I don't know if I show this on my channel, but this is highly recommended. It's the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide to Lost Universes, and it goes to all the different continuity, dark horses, universe superheroes, Atlas Seaboard. It goes to Valiant, of course, and there's pictures of all the different, and there's prices. It's a price guide. There's artwork. There's interviews with artists and writers and creators. And again, it's a guide to the Lost Universes, something that's a handy reference without going to the price guide and looking up a whole bunch of different stuff. You've got the new universe from Marvel is in this book. But what I find very interesting, I'm gonna see if I can find it here, is the MLJ stuff from the Golden Age. They've got the Bronze Age and the 80s stuff, which I think is very, very interesting, because I love that. Rich Buckler spearheaded it. He wore mini hats with it, and he did a lot of stuff with the red circle and the blue ribbon stuff. But you get, you got the Fly, Adventures of the Fly, the Jaguar, and everything else. But what I find interesting are the prices. Okay, you get number 12 of Top Notch, featuring the Black Hood. Okay, they're saying in good, it's $139. I'm sorry, you're not going to find that comic book for $139. More like 3 times that amount. Top Notch, okay, classic cover with the Wizard. They say it's $200. Right there. They're saying it's $200 a good. I don't agree with those prices. Again, I'm not in my collection for prices. I'm not saying, I wish they were this price. I would be all over this. This is like, 1990 prices. Pep Comics number 37, $300. I'm just giving you an example here, but it's a great reference because it's got pictures and of Golden Age books and articles, and there's even one of my favorite artists, Sandy Plunkett. They even do an interview with him in here, which I thought was great because his output is so tremendous. Although it's very small, Sandy Plunkett is phenomenal artist, phenomenal artist. But it got Valiant, that's kind of stuff in here, milestone stuff, but it's all in this book. And again, it's $25. I got this 20% off at a con, and you'll find most of them that way, like on Amazon and whatnot. But I had to talk about that because I think it's very interesting on the price, the reflection on the prices, because I'm not seeing that. That I don't know where they're getting this price from, but it's not. You're probably paying 3 to 4 times guide on what the price you're looking at in here. So, but again, it's interesting to have. It's a nice reference. Without looking through, like I said, looking through the Overstreet price guide. If you want to find something, MLJ or The Fly or whatever, the Lost Universes, you'll have something that can take care of that for you. All right. Without further ado, let's go on to the magazines. This one I'm going to show, I don't have the complete run anymore. I gifted it for a birthday present to a good friend of mine, my best friend. For his birthday one year, I got the whole run, high grade, but it's a $6 Million Man. This is number 2. Great Neal Adams cover on this. Like I said, I had the whole run before, and it's great. It's got Continuity Studios did a lot of work on this, hence the Neal Adams cover and some other stuff inside of these books. But again, we got $6 Million Man number 2 from Charlton. And I think this is number 6, if I'm not number 3. My bad. Number 3 from Charlton. Again, the Continuity Studios has done work, a lot of work on this book. Changing gears to horror. Here's Psycho number 19. Got a great cover. Again, this is from Skywald. Has Pablo Marcos artwork in it, which is one of my favorite. His Tales from the Zombie stuff is impeccable. Psycho number 19. Here's Nightmare, and I have more of these. I just can't find them at the moment. The Skywald stuff, it's hard to come by and grade, and if you do, you're paying a pretty penny for it. But sometimes you can really find these in like antique stores and places where they might just have little small spattering of books throughout the thing. Sometimes you'll find these for a few dollars. These I unfortunately I didn't, but some of them I did. This was a pretty expensive book. The cover is pretty darn cool. Medusa has Byrne. I think it has one of Byrne's first published work outside of Charlton, and Duffy Mulholland has stuff in here from him as well. Because Willie and the Chopper Bunch is Byrne's first, I think, number 5 with Charlton. But it's such a great cover. The severed head of Medusa, the cat. It's just a great cover. DC Comics, The Amazing World of DC Comic Books, number 13. I wish I had more of these in my collection. However, I'm not paying the asking price for admission for these books. I can go to other things, comic book wise. Not that it's not worth it. I just think they're gouging the price. So that's my feeling on it, because the nostalgia's there. But this and Foom, I mean, you're paying anywhere, but I've seen them low end $40, depending on what's in it, as much as $100, depending on condition and what's in it. You guys know, you've been out there looking at the stuff. But I got for a song. So this one I paid a little bit for, under 20, but it had the Defenders in it. It's not as popular issue, but I love it. I love the Defenders. So Foom was it. This issue of Foom, great stuff. Like I said though, the prices on them, and I know the market dictates what's paid for it, but as far as prozines and fanzines, it's all over the place. I mean, you can get them for, like I said, for a song, all the way up to, you know, um, a little bit shy of $100. You know, depending on what's in it. Amazing Heroes #6. Childhood copy. I don't know where the rest of my Amazing Heroes are. I bought this sporadically. I bought Comic Reader all the time, and I bought the Buyer's Guide all the time. Amazing Heroes not as much because I bought the other two, but Moon Knight was on this one, and I've always liked Moon Knight long before. Oh, the TV show! I'm a Moon Knight fan. TV show! I'm now a Moon Knight fan. No, I always liked Moon Knight. I liked him better than Batman. I thought Moon Knight is a much more complex character. Anyone who reads Back Issue magazine knows how I feel because I wrote a letter to them and they published it about what I feel about Moon Knight versus Batman. So that's that. Yeah, this whole Moon Knight thing is beyond me. I embrace. In fact, I sold my Werewolf by Night 32, even though I'm a Moon Knight fan. I wanted other books. I wasn't married to the comic. It funded a bunch of other stuff, comic books and the conventions and everything else. That I've got books that I am ecstatic about, and I showed them on my videos. But it's this strike when the iron's hot, and you know I'd rather have these books. So that's what I did, and I'm not. I don't regret it one moment. Comics feature #2, my favorite, one of my favorite, top 3 favorite Bronze Age modern artists is Bob Layton. And this was just, I wish we had the original art to this. I would love it. But this is comics feature signed by Bob right up here. It has a big interview with him and David Michelini. So it's a coveted prozine. I won't get rid of this for anything. The signature is just tops. This whole book is aces. So if you ever see this, I've seen it as low as 5, as much as 30. It's worth getting. It's a piece of history. Another cool book from JC Comics Group. The Thunder Agents #1. Has a bunch of people in here. Has Adams, Kirby, Texera, as it says on the cover. Texera, I think is how you say his name. I might have just said it wrong, but this is very cool. Thunder Agents in action. Love these older books. This is not too much to write home about. It's pretty cool to horror, but not as gritty and violent as we like in our pre-code horror books. But Shock. There's a bunch of reprints. I think it's from Britain, I think. Let me see what this is from. I didn't have it written on the back. They probably didn't pay too much for it or didn't really get impressed by it all that much. This is #6 from 1970, Stanley Publications. No, New York, 1969. This looks like it reminds me of a British. Even if it says 35 cents on it, that don't mean everything. The end all and be all on a price if it's a British book or not. Now, this was a book that not too many people care about, unfortunately. But in the 90s, this was a read for me, and I really enjoyed it. It was Dr. Wonder, put out by Dick Ayers and Old Town Publications. And it was set up like a Silver Age book. The letters page, the ads, the writing, the art. It was done all by Dick Ayers, and it's campy, just like the Silver Age was to a certain degree. Not all of it was camp, but some of it was. But Dr. Wonder encapsulates that feeling with these books. The first 2 issues, this is #4 and #5. The first 3 were almost comic size, a little bit bigger, comic book size wise, but it's still a fun book. You got accolades here. Overstreet's fan, remember that magazine? All we can say is wow. Dick Ayers Can Do It All, Stan Lee. Dr. Wonder is Wonderbar, Combo Magazine, Somerville News, great stuff. Cleveland Plain Dealer, a fun book. Mark Evanier, Comic Book Buyer's Guide, a must get for those who missed the bygone days of Marvel. Again, it's one of those books. Again, like I said, it encapsulates the Silver Age, and it's just fun. If you see these in the dollar bin, they're worth picking up. It's just the odd shape keeps them from being treated well, or um, they stick out of the box. You got to put most of them in the magazine bag so they won't get damaged. Marvel Super Action 1, nice copy of this. There was a time where this book was really coveted. I don't know much anymore. But it's such a great cover and great stuff. Keep that in my collection. Focus on John Byrne. I think, who put this out? Fantagraphics, yeah. I got John Byrne to sign this right there at the Mid-Ohio Con back in '98, I believe, when he was still doing conventions. And the only convention that he really appeared at that time was Mid-Ohio Con in Columbus. Masters of Terror. I wish this magazine lasted longer. From Marvel, tons of horror writers and scary stories and horror, great artwork, great writing. Masters of Terror had it all, and only lasted 2 issues, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I can look it up, but I won't take time to do that. This is great. I think it's, I want to say it's Strank. No, it's Dan Atkins, if I do believe. This is the Masters of Horror #2, The Invisible Man, 5 Other Fear Feasts by Howard Block and Lovecraft. Great stuff. Haunt of Horror #1, the great Bob Larkin cover, which he's done comic book cover art, but for me, his Doc Savage is what I love, and it's unfortunately on the Doc Savage paperbacks there were only 2, because there were most of them except for a couple were Doc doubles that Larkin did, and the Doc doubles had 2 pictures for the story on the cover. So his artwork was lost in this small trade dress that was on the paperbacks. Anyone who's read Doc knows what I'm talking about. But this is Haunt of Horror #1. Again, phenomenal magazine. Gabriel the Devil Hunter. Good stuff. He made it on the cover of #2. And these were cool books because, before stardom hits these artists and writers and the way we treat them now, they were just people, and they still are just people, but the access to them is a little bit different. But anyway, a bunch of these artists and writers went to see The Exorcist, and they sat around the table and they talked about The Exorcist on a cassette tape, and the transcripts is in this issue of Haunt of Horror #2. Again, Gabriel the Devil Hunter appears on the cover, and The Exorcist tapes, and I think it was Claremont, might have been Louise and Walter Simonson. Let me see who was on the I know Jerry Conway was one of them. Something Wicked. Yeah, Chris Claremont wrote the story, wrote the article, and the artists and writers went to see it. Yeah, it was. They sat around, they talked about it on tape, and it was transcribed in the after the article by Claremont. But the group included Claremont, Conway, Gerber, Carla Joseph, Don McGregor, Sandy McGregor, Glennis Ween, Lynn Ween, Marv Wolfman, and Michelle Wolfman. And they sit around and talk about what they thought about the movie at that time, which we're jaded now, so it's not, the shock factor is evident in this article. But it's got such great stuff in here. Gene Colan has a story in here. Who did the Gabriel the Devil Hunter? Again, we got Pablo Marcos. Phenomenal stuff. This magazine is just worth having, man. It's just, yeah. The Satana story by Pablo is just, oh, it's so good. Jerry Conway, no, Romero is the artist. He's a probably another Filipino artist that, to me, is drawing a lot like Pablo Marcos. Look at that stuff. Anyway, good stuff. It's worth having, but it gives us fun stuff to read. Unpretentious. Not trying to put a mark on the literary mark on the world. It's just fun comic reading, and the Exorcist tapes it's a fun read. This is my favorite cover from the series, number 3. Because I love the position of the zombies. Again, it's the Gabriel the Devil Hunter story is in this as well. Gabriel the Devil Hunter is such a phenomenal strip, and they revived him in Hellstrom Prince of Lies in the 90s. Michael Baer's artwork just shined in that series. I forgot the writer of that series, but Hellstrom Prince of Lies, if you ever see that series, it's probably the dollar bin. It's worth having. They revived the character, and they did it very, very well. Haunt of Horror number 5. Another great cover. Satana's on the cover. I don't know who this is. But these are just cool books to have in the collection. There was also a digest. I have it somewhere. I gotta find it. There was a digest version of the Haunt of Horror. I think there was 2. One that had the first cover on it, and a one that has a cauldron with, I think, skulls coming out of it, with like a cloaked skull creature holding the cauldron or something like that, if I do remember correctly. Savage Tales number 1, Claim to Fame, first appearance of Man Thing. Pretty decent copy. Man Thing's my favorite. Swamp Creature. I love the Man Thing. I think he's cool. I've got tons of statues and busts and figures and stuff of Man Thing. I just think he's really cool. And luckily in my artwork collection, I've got a Frank Bruner Man Thing pencil drawing, which is great stuff. Marvel Preview number 1, signed by Neil Adams on the inside. Back when I met him when I was a kid, back then we had comic books signed on the inside. It's signed on the front page. And I just always love this stuff because I'm a big fan of the conspiracies of the ancient aliens and the idea and the theories behind all that. So this issue is really fun. Number 2. Marvel Preview. Number 3. It's just a great cover. Dynamic Gene Colan artwork in there. Number 4. I don't know where 5 or 6 is at. But I know what happened to 7, which everyone knows 7's got the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Ooh, who cares? The Satana feature in that blows away the Rocket Raccoon story because no one cared. But the Satana story, phenomenal. Artwork was so good. I think that was Pablo Marcos. And I forgot who wrote it. But I traded it many years ago. And again, this is what I traded it for. I was going through my Charltons and was with this, and I just remembered the trade was for this book, which I did it in a heartbeat. It was a very nice high-grade copy of number 7 Marvel Preview back to a few years ago when it was a really hot book, but I had no problems trading it for this. This is thing number 14. Classic Ditko cover. Great, wonderful pre-code horror, but the trade I had no problem trading it. It was, at that time, it was a fair trade. But now I look back, I'm no problem. And again, I'm doing that now. I've got a lot of keys, Bronze Age keys. I'm going to be selling so I can start getting other books. So I want my collection, like I said in my last video. I can't remember if it was with the 4-color fossils or with my own video, but I want it to morph. I want it to be a living entity almost, where things are always changing and things are always interesting. I've had these books forever. I mean, I bought a lot of them off the rack. I bought them when I was 15. I still have them in high grade. So a lot of that stuff, I'm not married to it anymore. I want other things like this, like this, like, not so much of this. It's a reprint. And like Space Adventures, like this is a high grade copy of number 2, Space Adventures. Things like that, I want. I don't get the keys, the price people are asking for these. I mean, it's great that I have them, but I don't get it. I'd rather have these interesting books that are always going to be like fascinating to have in a collection and look back on. Certain books, I don't have that effect. They don't affect me that way. So it's time to say bye-bye. All right, so that's what happened to number 7. 5 and 6 of this, I don't know. 8 and 9, I don't know. Here's 10 of Marvel Preview. We're getting back to the magazines. I don't know what happened to it. I think I've got 4 more boxes of magazines. I'm sure they're in there somewhere. I just have to find them. Here's number 11, which has such a great cover by Ken Barr. Number 14, another Ken Barr cover, I do believe. Good stuff, good stuff. Star-Lord was always a great character. And these were bought off the stands. Most of these, there's a couple that I didn't, that I had to get later because I missed them, or I wanted to buy other comic books when I was a kid. But here's a Jusco cover, Jusco, however you say his name. But yeah, I've always liked the Star-Lord character, and it wasn't like, oh, Star-Lord is so cool because you're in a movie. No, I've always liked the character. It was always fun. It's a good space opera. I am missing my Marvel. I hope it's in another box. The Marvel. What was the one that that Gene Colan drew it? I can't remember, but I'll find it at some point. Here's another Haunt of Horror in Marvel Preview with the Earl Norem cover with Lilith. No, I'm almost at a half hour. I'll finish up these Marvel Previews. Star-Lord, Marvel Preview number 18. The great, here we are again, the great Bob Larkin cover. Too bad it's a small, another small example of his work, but it's just still great stuff. Bizarre Adventures, when it changed, Marvel Preview, I don't know where it changed at. This is 25. So sometime between 18 and 25, it changed to Bizarre Adventures. And I got some other issues of this. I don't know where they're at the moment. But I'm going through my collection and organizing, and I'll find them. Daughters of the Dragon. Bizarre Adventures number 27. And that's it for right now. I'm at 28 minutes, 29 almost. So I'm going to end it here. Just wanted to do a video, some interesting stuff. Get back to my video production. that is what it is. I mean, no way of saying it, but hope everyone's doing well. Take care. Couple shout outs. Great channel. Subscribe to him as soon as you're done here. Black box, bronze, and silver and bronze. Black box, silver and bronze. Great channel. Guy is phenomenal. He knows his stuff. If you like old comic books, if you like just a nice guy talking to you about comic books, Joe's awesome. Check out his channel and Ken's comic channel. He's over in Britain. He does a lot of the Alan Class and the Thorpe and Porter, excuse me. Thorpe and Porter and Allen Class books. If we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, Good Way to Live Vicariously Through Ken. Great stuff. Check out their channels. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment about anything you want to talk about, and we'll get it on. Thanks, guys. Bye.